is a sight worth seeing. 'Cause I don't have the strength in me to land. And the sun sets on the horizon. Who knows how far we'll have to go? And the rain, it burns like fire. We're so close yet so far from home.
What is up, everybody? How's it going? I know we still got 7 minutes on the timer. Um, Good morning. I mean, good morning. Trying to get some coffee in me this morning. I normally don't do streams this early, but I, got the kids off to school. The whole chaos thing. Kids are gone. There's probably gonna be a little less chaos this morning than there normally is. I don't have a bunch of kids screaming in the background right now. Got the wife to work, and I thought, you know what? I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna just delete some chunks today, in our witch farm, and I'm just gonna see how everybody's morning is going. Maybe talk about some fun little facts, that people might not know, and that kind of stuff. Just a chill morning. That's one of Jet Rambler popping in there, checking his follow. Uh, 5 years, 10 months, 17 days, and 5 hours. Been a while since you've been on, but yeah, um, just a chill morning. Let me know what you're up to this morning and what you got going on, and let's get this party started. So I'm on Diggler's Place. There's the ad drop in w.gg. Make sure you use code Chaos Energy for that 10% off. That is not a one-time code. That is a every-time code. Use that code Chaos Energy and get 10% off your energy drinks. It is a energy drink that is non. I mean, I don't crash from it. I enjoy it. But this is one thing that I cannot do without, and that is my coffee. How about y'all? Oh, nice, nice. First Pokemon game since Emerald. We got a little Pokemon gaming going on this morning, a little Minecraft gaming going on with me this morning. I mean, you can't get more chill than that. We're going to. It's dark outside, and there is no chilling in Minecraft at nighttime. Lots of zombies and bad guys. Oh wow, when did you change your name? Now I remember you now. Yeah. Dang, it's been forever, dude. That is wild. I actually need to clean up my this box up here and take it back to the base. Whee! Yeah. I'm still low man on the totem pole. Haven't changed much. Still doing the Minecraft thing. Um took some breaks here and there. Trying to get back into the streaming. So got a stream that I published today. Didn't do much. Got a stream publishing tomorrow. There's a totem pole. Where? Oh, right here. Yeah. Changed my name last year. I want to say changed a lot of things after my. Oh man, I want to say sorry to hear that, but sometimes that is good for people. But in the same token, it can be a bad thing. I understand how that went, and yeah, sometimes that's what it takes. A lot of people say when women go through their divorces or big change, they change their looks. Us guys, we don't have much to change. So we tend to change our brand. Um, but yeah, dude, I don't know. I don't know if that's a sore subject or not. I'm sorry to hear about that. I hope everything's turning out great for you in that situation as far as being positive in life. But that's crazy. Yeah. So where'd you come up? What's the deal with the Jet Rambler name? What's up, Mono? Yeah, it's a big totem pole on the witch farm. Have you not been to the witch farm? I don't need that. That's Ark stuff. I stole it. Three things in this name. Well, I see Jet. What I see from it is Jet Rambler. All this stuff was from the Iron Farm. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to carry it back. Let me see if I can. Of course, I don't have an empty shulker box. Um, why would I have an empty shulker box? That makes no sense, right? Ooh, the lag. I'm gonna take this one. Temporarily use it. Let me move stuff. I don't need to take the bed with me. The bed needs to stay here. Let me drop that off. All right. So first fun fact of the morning. Did you know? Did you know that Australia is wider than the moon? Jet is my initials. Okay, yeah, yeah. Ramblers are one of my favorite cars. Ah, yes. Okay, nice. That's cool. That is cool. How you've put that much meaning behind your name. I mean, literally, Nieblue has two meanings to it. Nye is another word for business. I guess you say. It's a very it's a very broad message out there. And then blue, of course, is my favorite color. So, but I like your name, man. That's cool that you were able to incorporate all that in there. Um, See, I was thinking Jets. I was thinking Jet as in the football team Jets. I didn't know if that had anything to do with it, but that's cool. Nice. Where's that at? I actually live in Texas. Where's the fifth longest trail in Texas? I'm guessing you like to camp too. I gotta go get the rest of this stuff. Let me dump what's left in my inventory into this box. I'm just gonna have to take this to my base. Are you talking about this totem pole, Mono? I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about. There's a totem pole. I'm assuming you're talking about this thing. I'm trying to clean all this out. I kind of destroyed this box. Oh, still one block, really? I'll just throw it away. Jeez. Jeez, man. Jeez. Yeah, I do like camping. Hey, Mono, I ain't gonna lie, I'm old. You should know this by now. You played with me enough to realize I forget things very quickly. It does not take me long. It does not take me long. You literally said you were low person on the totem pole. How quickly we forget. No, I am low person on the totem pole. I'm still not a big hit in the streaming world. Um, I like to think that people know kind of who I am, but uh, like Navy Tweety here, now known as Jet Rambler, formerly we should say it the other way, Jet Rambler, formerly known as Navy Tweety. Um, I've it's, he's followed me for a long time, 5 years, 10 months, 17 days, and 5 hours, and I haven't talked to him in forever. He's been a busy guy. It's the net trail roughly from Farmsville to New Boston. Oh wow. Okay. Nothing like 130 plus mile hike to clear your head. That is. I bet you some beautiful scenery though. Scrubby in the house. All right. It's time for our next fun fact you may not know. Venus is the only planet to spin clockwise. Y'all know that? Ow. Ow. I feel like there's going to be a death today. I really do. I feel like there's going to be a death. Stuff's going to go flying everywhere. Whoa. You took on a lot of stuff, Jet. Wow. You're like, you know what? This is a time to just relax. But that's an okay thing because that gives you time to just do what you've always wanted to do, right? Not being held down by the workforce, and then on top of that, being able to do some of the things that you haven't been able to do in the past that may have been hindered. But there are no clocks on Venus. How do you know? Does time stand still because it's the Venus is the planet of love, therefore there's no clocks. Time stands still. Okay, that was cheesy. That was horrible. That was horrible. Okay, here's one that y'all might know. How many of y'all actually watch football? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. I watch football. I don't watch a lot of NFL, but I did know this fun fact. I don't want but I don't, like I said, I don't watch a lot of NFL. Did you know that on game night, not on game night, referees for the final NFL Super Bowl game get Super Bowl rings too? Did you know that? I'm throwing stuff into inventory here. That's really all I'm doing. Yeah, not just as not I. I don't want to. Now, that being said, Jet, I don't want to put off that marriage is a bad thing. Okay. It sometimes you just don't get partnered with the right person to begin with. Unfortunately, and hopefully this allows you to open your world. I will say this: I've been there. So I've learned a lot from it, and reflection is a very good thing to have, especially after a situation like that, where you kind of get to um, a realization of yourself and what you're all about. But we're not going to get philosophical in here, okay? Not going to happen. Speaking of marriages, hang on one second. The wife has messaged me twice. Um, unless you think I'll have time to change, we can get off. Yes. You will have time. Time. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I bet you that was one of. I didn't necessarily go through a divorce, but I had broken up with a girlfriend that I had been with for a while before I got married. Before I met my wife and got married. And when we broke up, I know this is kind of different, especially since I hadn't been spending I probably was with this girl for about 4 years, but I was really connected to her. Um, anyways, the when we broke up, I went camping, and it wasn't a long time, but everybody was like, "You're going camping by yourself?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm getting away. I'm gonna go camping for the weekend. I'm gonna fish. I'm gonna just have time on my own to just reflect." And that's really what I did. I sat around, I thought about things, I thought about what direction my life needed to go in, what kind of changes I needed to make, what I learned from what I went through. So yeah, it's something that I think all men go through. You may not realize it, but at some point in time it happens, especially when it's a big event like that, because I think ultimately instilled in all of us men is the instinct to have family and take care of family. And so it's a really big change when something like that gets torn apart. Yeah. Oh man, 2 days away from 11 years when I found out about her affair. The long walk was definitely needed. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Okay, so I've got another one. Now this one, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pronounce this right. Um, this one I did not know, for those that are wordsmiths and like huge words and that kind of stuff. Um, that there is a phobia against long words. It's called hippopotomonstrosis quipedalophobia. Hippopotomonstrosis quipedalophobia. I probably sound like I'm retarded right now, but yeah. Or that the longest English word is way longer than that one, which is 189,819 letters long. Scrubby knew that one. I think that is the weirdest phobia name. That the fact that they threw hippo in the front of it is hilarious. Right? That's what my yeah. It's kind of funny because going through like high school and playing football in high school, you get hit in the side or something would happen. You'd be like, oh, my coach would be like, walk it off, suck it up, Buttercup, walk it off. No, you really do. It helps a lot, and I'm glad you were able to take that time and get that reflection you needed, and I hope it helps you move forward with where your path needs to go. I can't believe you knew that, Scrubby. How'd you know that? Did you do like a study on the hippopotomonstrosiquipedalophobia? I said it better that time, I think. We shouldn't be counting those chemistry strings as longest words. Is that what that? Oh, you're talking about like the scientifical name of a thing? I think so too. I mean, I really think scientists, when they come across new things and they want to name it, they're like, I'm gonna come up with the best name ever, and they just blah, 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 and just roll out a name that's like 15 miles long. Let's see here. What am I doing? Carrots can go somewhere other than here. And you know what? I need some scaffolding. I do need some scaffolding. I need these too. The ones I didn't dump in. This one, this one. I can leave that one behind. Leave that one behind. I can take this one. ADHD and its random facts. Of course. Never fails. The ADHD's gotcha. Gunpowder. I think this was my other jumbled mess, right? Yeah. Um, yeah, no. That's understandable. I've got to find I mean, I know where all my scaffolding went. I don't think I have any more in here. Because we literally used it all at the iron farm. Yeah, I don't have any more. I'm gonna have to go get some scaffolding too. Or ladders, one of the two. There's a lake in Massachusetts named Chargoga Goga Manchaga Goga. Dude, you literally were just pressing buttons. you, I think you just got G and O and A happy in that one. That is wild. Why would they name a lake that long? Isn't there a city that's named like wildly long too? Don't lie, Scrubby. You copied and pasted that. You know you copied and pasted that. All right, let me grab some more. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out there, Scrubby. I thought it was funny though. I gotta drop off some carrots. These carrots are gonna be the death of me if I don't drop them off. Right there. It's all good. Let's see here. There's another phobia, and I gotta find it real quick, which I think is pretty interesting. So, allodoxophobia is a fear of other people's opinions. Could you imagine having that fear, having a fear of other people's opinions. You just have to cut them off, like when they walk up to you, be like, "Hey, are you about to tell me your opinion? Because if you do, I gotta walk away." Probably, I would imagine if you had that kind of a phobia, you'd be a social, anti-socialist. So you probably would not get out very much. That would be my guess. In my opinion, that's a weird phobia name. So, Jet, what's on your next agenda? What do you have planned coming up for your next adventure? I mean, obviously you went on the that long hike. I'm sure you've got something because our our innate purpose in life is to be busy. Um, we and when you tend not to be busy, and I don't remember where I read this, but um, people tend to lose themselves when they're not busy. So when you're just sitting around doing nothing. So I've got to know, what are your adventures, because I'm sure you've got something planned. In September, I'm going to Colorado. Next year, October, I'm planning to go to. Oh man, that trip to Japan's gonna be nice. I've been to Colorado. What part of Colorado are you going to, or are you just kind of gonna just go wherever? Idaho Springs. Okay, definitely, definitely. I went to Grand Junction. Had some friends in that area. Have some friends in there. I don't want to say had. I still have some friends in that area. Did I bring rockets with me? I tend to go through rockets really quick. Got a few, not much. We'll just put them right there. Yeah, I saw you were writing a book and writing and recording a metal album and just trying hobbies. Just trying to find some different niches that you enjoy. You play guitar, I'm assuming. And you just the book, is it a bio? I mean, what kind of writing is it? Metal Screams. Okay. Sci-fi. Nice. I like sci-fi. I definitely yeah, I enjoy a good sci-fi book. The Root of Life. Huh. Interesting. We're doing our oh, you know what? My inventory's full. I need to go empty it. I need to go put it up there. That's where we're putting our stuff. Well, you're gonna have to let me read it. Well, I guess when you publish it, then you can let me read it, because then I'll buy it. And we'll take a gander at it. Um, I'm just placing these down so I can get them out of my inventory. Okay, ready for another fun fact of the day? We gotta get a good one. No, I jest. What are you ingesting? I'm just kidding. It would take 19 minutes to fall to the center of the Earth. I find that one hard to believe, since you would have to find a hole that goes all the way to the center of Earth. So how do they know? They're just timing it by how thick the Earth is, I guess. I'm sure that's what they're doing, but um, I don't think it would take 19 minutes because I think before you even got to the center of the Earth, you'd burn up. You'd be dead. Like you'd be disintegrated. You would never make it to the center of the Earth. But if the Earth was not, a molten core, then yeah, possibly. It's about a young man who just graduated from Federated Space Academy and is hired to build research stations on uncharted planets to look for mineral deposits and fuel deposits. That's cool. And I'm guessing he runs across all the different types of. Yep, but he discovers a semi advanced species of humanoids who are facing an apocalyptic event. That sounds very interesting. I would read that one. Mono. Not with an attitude like that, you won't reach the center of Earth. Like, what's wrong with you? Gotta be optimistic, right? How do, you, how do you plan to ever go anywhere in life if you're not optimistic about reaching the center of Earth? Yeah, I think that actually sounds like a very interesting book. So you're gonna have to keep me updated. I know it's been a while since we talked, and I don't stream that often, but you know, y- you got my Twitch and my YouTube. Um, Fun fact: humans once dug a hole so deep the soil started acting like melted plastic. They didn't even get through the first layer of earth. Started acting like melted plastic. That's interesting. Would that be like the consistency of like quicksand or well melted plastic? That's not really quicksand. That'd be oh man, that'd be horrible. And is it was it hot? I'm assuming it was hot. Find the info on it. So it's planned to be a trilogy sequel. Is A Seed of Hope and third is Eden Prime. I'd like to read it. I mean, you're just gonna have to keep me updated uh on that one. Hang on one second. I know it may be a while before you get it done, but I'd be interested in reading it. Hey, I'm down. I'm down. Oh man, I hate it when my stuff does this. Give me one second. You actually have my interest is peaked. As far as that's concerned, man, I gotta figure out. So how many of y'all have actually like I'm horrible with passwords. Like very bad with passwords. And what's bad is when you go to change the password and you put in the password you want it changed to, it's like that password was you've already used that password. You can't change the password for the one you've already used. So dumb. I gotta figure out what my password is. 2018. About to say my password over the stream here. That could be dangerous. I don't even know why it logged me out. Apparently that wasn't it either. Scrubby got an ad. The Soviet Union began drilling the hole in 1970 for research purposes on the Kola what? Peninsula in Russia near the Murmansk Project took almost 20 years to complete, and the drill bit was only about one-third of the way through the Earth's crust when the project was abandoned in 1989. The drill became stuck in a rock at a depth of just over 12 kilometers. So basically, the rock melted around the drill bit, I'm assuming. That's crazy. That'd be like Earth's bedrock. Kind of like Minecraft's bedrock. You can't get through it. It'd be like Earth's bedrock. Pretty much. That's what it sounds like. Guys, I'm in trouble. I can't remember my password. Okay, well I'm trying to figure this out. Let's find a different fun fact. Oh, here's an interesting one. The Terminator script was sold for $1. $1. I bet you there was some money lining some pockets there, huh? One whole dollar for the Terminator script, and look what it became. That's kind of funny. Marion Trench, which is the deepest trench in the ocean, right? That is still, I don't think it's been fully explored because it's so deep. I don't have anything that can go down in it, right? I gotta get up here and sleep before something kills me. That was hilarious. I am sleeping on the ground. Hey, yeah, Jet, I'll need to, I need to, as soon as I can figure out what my login is on Facebook, I need to send you, yeah, that thing. I forgot my password. I was gonna send you a link to my gaming Facebook. That way you can keep me updated on that one. Try another way. What in the world? Hang on, I'm working on this, guys. Okay. 504. Oh, here we go. New password. Apparently I fixed it. Watch it say, sorry, you've already used that password. And then you got the notification from over here. Yes, it's me. Finish. I got the wife messaging me real quick. Let's do this. You know, I find it funny when you click on trust this device, how it still has issues. All right, I am linked to this, so I'm gonna just whisper you this message. Jet, you can find me on there. Um, you'll have to keep me updated on that book. Sounds really interesting. I definitely want to give it a read. So, and for those that don't know, I am back in my Facebook now. Thank goodness. What would we ever do without Facebook? So penicillin. Everybody knows what penicillin is. All right, Scrubby. Penicillin was first called mold juice. Can you believe that? Don't worry, patient. We got you covered. You're deathly ill, but we're going to give you some mold juice. Penicillin was a very well-known antibiotic. What's the worst thing is when you're allergic to it. There's a lot of people out there that are allergic to penicillin. And back in the day, that's all that they would prescribe you was penicillin. There wasn't a whole lot of other antibiotics discovered yet. That shows you how old I am. Yeah. Well, yeah, considering where penicillin comes from, yes. That is quite believable. They have a lot more alternative antibiotics nowadays than what they had in the past. Discovered penicillin was your main one, and those that were allergic to it were just in trouble. They're like, well, we got to resort to bleeding the brain. Can't have penicillin, so we're just gonna drill a hole in your brain. What was that called when they thought that bleeding the brain would help with the mental psychosis issues? I say psychosis, basically mental issues. They thought if they bled the brain, it would help heal that. I forgot what that was called. Is that what it is? Lobotomy? That's what I was thinking, but I wasn't sure. I didn't want to say it and be like, yeah. I think it's yeah. That might be what it is. That name sounds familiar. But yeah, where they used to drill holes in the head. Are we all like got a little darkness in our head thinking about the same thing? Can you imagine that getting your head drilled? Oh, I don't know about that. Jeez, Jed, you went way poking an ice pick through the eyeball. I thought they just drilled a hole in the back of your skull. What was that for? What did that accomplish? Poking a ice pick through your eyeball. Was that to cure blindness? Kidding. If there's anybody blind in here, I'm sorry. That was a cruel joke. Oh, it was supposed to. How in the world was that supposed to fix mental health? Hey, let me jab this sharp object in the middle of your eye, and yeah, you'll be cured. Maybe because is that where the whole oh you broke your finger, let me break the other one to make it stop hurting, make the other one stop hurting concept came in. Oh, you got mental problems, let me just poke your eye out with the ice pick. Oh my, I didn't know they did that to JFK's sister. The idea that that was still in play, I mean, you gotta think that's not. I mean, it's a while back, but even then, that's not that far back. I mean, my parents were alive during JFK's time, so that's kind of crazy. Of course, they were kids, but they were poking it through the eyeball to get to. I guess that would be the easiest way to get to the brain, would be through the eyeball. That's wild. That is nuts. This one's interesting. No number before 1,000 contains the letter A? I didn't know that. Who knew that one? Never even thought about it, honestly, to tell you the truth. Do we have any numbers people in here? Mono, you're a numbers guy, right? Did you know that? I'm waiting for the last recorded lobotomy in the States was in 67. So yeah, I mean, that's crazy. That makes me feel really old considering I was born in 78. Um which makes me old. I don't know about y'all, but it makes me old or feel old. The last recorded lobotomy in the States was in 67. Was it for mental relaxation? Can you imagine that? Yeah, we're going to the lobotomy spa today to get relaxed. We're gonna have a hole drill in our head so we can get relaxed. I'm very disappointed in this chunk. This chunk has not produced a whole lot of ores for me. Do I not have any andesite? There we go. Pull the stone out and put it somewhere else. Why am I putting it in there? That's kind of dumb. Can't put it in there either. I came up at the right time too. Or has it? Yeah. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There we go. Let me pull these ores out. That's andesite. It was supposed to cure everything from major depressive disorders to other more severe mental ailments. But what it did do was kill you or make you a potato. Yeah, pretty much. That's about all you're gonna get out of that. Getting a hole drilled through your head. Like the modern day Ritalin. Or the old day Ritalin. I don't want to say modern day Ritalin. We're just gonna drill a hole in your head to calm you down. Because they thought pressure was built up on the brain. And by drilling a hole, it would relieve that pressure, which would allow the brain to function properly, right? Supposedly. I don't know where my coal went to. Okay, let's go for another one. The Pope can't be an organ donor. I guess his body's too holy to be taken apart. Or is it just because the Pope's too old? Has there ever been like a really young Pope? I don't know. I don't keep up with that. And does that make a difference? Obviously, that should make a difference in the organ donating process. The older you are, the more worn down your organs are. So, would that be the reason, or would it be because they just consider his body to be holy and don't want to chop it up? Did you know in ancient Greece they did brain surgery too? They would remove a part of your skull cap and air you out and then replace it with metal plates. This also primarily resulted in death. Well, darn the luck. I can imagine that. Hey, we're gonna air out your brain. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna air out your brain. You need your brain has too much moisture on it. We're gonna air it out, and then we'll put a plate over it, and you'll be good. And then we're gonna do some regular. Do you want the subscription service or do you want the one time? We can get you set up on a subscription for $50,000 where we air out your brain every 2 weeks. Yeah, just sign this waiver and make sure you have a will in place, right? All right, guys, give me 1 second. I gotta fill my coffee cup up. Can't go without. Don't go away. I'll be right back. All right, back. It don't take long to get coffee. Let's see what we got going here. I think you may have found your new hobby, Jet. I don't know why you know that much either, but hey, maybe you should give it a shot. Just find a loyal subject who will let you, you know, experiment. You're like, hey, can I just use the ice pick and poke around your brain for a minute? I just want to see what this does. It'd be like the. Did anybody ever do the science experiment where you mess with the chicken leg and you'd pull on the tendon and it would wiggle its finger at you or whatever they call those things, claws? Did anybody ever do that in school? Or the frog? I've done both. Um, but you'd sit there, you'd be like sitting across the room with the frog leg, doing a little wave at the girl across the way. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, yeah. You don't think you went to school long enough? Mine was I think the frog leg, or well, it wasn't the frog leg, it was the whole frog. We did that in, I want to say, if I can remember right, like my sophomore year in high school, and then the chicken leg was done earlier than that. The chicken leg was a simple one. It was just to show how muscles work. And that's about as far as I got in my medical career. Okay, so Jet, this one's perfect for you. This is a very, very good fact for you, and I don't know how true it is still. I don't even know when this stuff is that I'm reading was published. I'm just throwing facts out there. They may not even be true anymore. Let's see when this thing was published. Oh, January 18th. So yeah, this is perfect. Japan has one vending machine for every 40 people. So make sure you take plenty of change, because you're gonna get everything out of a vending machine, from a girlfriend to Your next toothbrush. I don't know about you, but I like the brunettes. How much is she? That's funny. No, that is pretty crazy. I think I would love to go to Japan. So if you get that opportunity, Jet, that's gonna be awesome. That is gonna be awesome because just the culture alone. I love Japanese food, and well, I love food period. But um, I like sashimi and sushi and all that good stuff. I like all kinds of stuff. So I think it'd be awesome just to go to Japan. I would get lost because obviously I don't speak Japanese. Um, so if there was somebody there that couldn't understand English, I'd be in big trouble. But I would imagine that a lot of people there can understand English because to me, I think Japan would be a very big tourist area. I would think. I could be wrong, but I would think. But not so much I think the biggest part about going to Japan or even China for that matter would not be the city life. I think I would want to see a lot of the outer rural areas. How do you say that? Rural areas. To see the culture out in the rural areas and how they live, and of course to see the poppy farms and things like that. No, I'm just kidding. What is your fascination with Japan? What makes you want to go to Japan? I know I had a history teacher at one point in time in college that he went to Japan to do basically to continue his studies. And hello, wandering traitor. I didn't make it. Um, and he said that he stayed at a hostel. Is that right? Hostel, is that how you say it? He stayed at a hostel where literally it was just it was a bed. Like the room was just like a cube thing long enough for you to slide into, and you just slid into it and you slept there, right? You had like a place for to hold stuff and a shelf and things like that. He said you had a small little TV, but you weren't there to you didn't hang out there, right? All it was a bed, and he said it was the weirdest thing he'd ever done, but it was an experience. So I'm probably gonna say this wrong. I want to see the Okuno in temple and cemetery in person. Okay, what makes that special? You're gonna have to enlighten me. Like the temples and stuff. I don't know much about. And we're gonna sleep before I die. Right? Yeah. My dad was in the Navy too. He said it was horrible. The coffin racks. Um. Okay, so and he said they're not expensive. Though that's what he told me. But this was back when I was in college. There's no telling now. But yeah, he said it was weird. You just literally slide into it, and that's all you did. You just slept in there, because the rest of your day was spent just going around, right, and sightseeing and doing different things. So that's exciting. There we go. The very last one I looked at. Hey, excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Um, do you have any gray poupon? No, no gray poupon. I need your head. I have your head. Ow! All right, come back here. Nice. I got both of their heads and his head. Did I get all three? What are the chances of that? I got all three of their heads. That's crazy. I was not expecting that. I don't think I have that one. Oh, I need those. Let's see. It's the burial ground of the founder of Buddhism, and also contains over 200,000 tombstones. So that's cool. The burial grounds of the founder of Buddhism. So it's got the Buddha in there. We all make fun of it. You rub the belly, but that is a tradition. Um, that is quite old, right? Isn't that what the monks practice? Is Buddhism? Buddhism? That's horrible. Sorry. Imagine. It's amazing the architecture that they have compared to the architecture that we have. How different of a style there is. Like these massive temples that they built and the ornateness of them, which we do have ornate buildings in certain areas. But I mean there's I guess you could kind of say theirs would be like the Catholic churches of our area and stuff. Their temples. I don't know. There's to me their architecture is just it's nice. I don't know how to put it. It's just nice. It'd be cool to have some of those temples here. It's a monk temple. All right, time for our next one. What the what? McDonald's once made bubblegum flavored broccoli. Was this to encourage kids to eat their broccoli? Why would you do that? I mean, that's the only thing I can take from that is you're trying to convince kids that broccoli's good. What you did was you destroyed those kids' lives, McDonald's. That's not nice at all. You destroyed their lives. They're like eating broccoli and it tastes like bubblegum. They were excited about it. Now don't get me wrong, I like broccoli, but they were excited about it. This is basically what went through their head. They were excited about the broccoli because it tasted like bubblegum. They got home and mom cooked broccoli and they felt like their world just got destroyed. They felt like their mom's been lying to them for years. They're like, "What are you doing to us? Why would you do this? This is not the way broccoli's supposed to taste, according to McDonald's. This is not the way it works." Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. And that's the probably the good point about it is America's too young. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Absolutely right about that. Not not a whole lot of history, but on that same token, in that note, over there we don't they don't just walk away from areas, right? So here in America, we have a tendency to build up an area, and as we continue to grow, we outgrow areas, and we just kind of abandon them. So, for instance, where I live, what used to be downtown is no longer. I mean, it's still downtown, but there's a lot of abandoned buildings because those businesses have moved to the busier part of the area because it's more popular to be in that area. So you have a lot of buildings that get abandoned, and whereas I would imagine in places like Japan or China, those buildings are always going to be occupied because of how important they are. They're built for religious purposes, obviously on the majority of them, but just in general, I think they have a bigger gratitude towards their architecture versus um, America. I mean, the bigger, better thing comes along, and we tend to just ditch what was. Destroy and build bigger, right? Is that how it goes? Our native people didn't have written language and they were nomadic, so no ancient structures. Yeah, yeah. Well, and you also had because we are so young. But even then, back for Japan and those, you had dynasties. I know I said that weird. Dynasties is the way meant to say it, but I had it stuck in my head. I watched a documentary on the dynasties, and they had, like you said, they had written transcripts and things like that just passed down, and a lot of stuff, kind of like what we have today as skills for welding and things like that. That's how a lot of the jobs were back then as well in those areas. Was the family, as you grew up, you were taught the family trade, whether it be building or farming or that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's I mean that's kind of important. I'm just kidding. They are very limited in space. This is true. They can't just. You're right. They can't. They have to build up more than they can build out. That's why you have places where when you go to visit Japan, you literally have a bed that you slide into to sleep in, and that's all you have. It'd be interesting to see how much one of those places. Have you done any pricing? I wonder how much it costs to stay at one of those types of deals where you just have a bed to sleep in. I'm full. Apparently, I'm full on my stuff here. Go up here and drop off again. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. I was expecting it to be a little more than that. Maybe right around. Well, I guess all you're getting is a bed, so surely it shouldn't be that expensive. I would imagine the cost of getting over there would be pretty pricey though. And I'm assuming you keep an active passport, considering you were in the Navy. Yeah, literally a place to rest your head, and that's it. Let's see. This one's kind of funny. Wearing a necktie, so the thing you tie around your neck, and you could reduce blood flow to your brain by up to 7.5%. Wearing a necktie could reduce blood flow to your brain by up to 7.5%. So, next time a job requires you to wear a necktie, just explain to them that I cannot think properly or function properly at my job due to a necktie because it reduces my brain flow by 7.5%. That hinders my functionality. Don't most? Well, no, I guess the bow tie does wrap around if you get like the actual bow ties, versus the clip on. I don't wear ties. I've worn ties in the past. I don't like wearing them. I feel like I'm being strangled. Literally. I don't know. I don't know who came up with the idea to put something around your neck and like a noose in that situation. Who would want to make that an ornamental thing? I don't know. Just not my thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think there are some nice neckties out there, but it's not something I enjoy. See, also I know a secret for travel costs, but I can't share it unfortunately. Nope, you're good, bud. I understand. Got to keep your secrets because if you don't, then that's gonna raise the cost in whatever secret you got going there, whatever deal you got going. Um, once you start handing out those secrets like that, it it drives the cost up. So I mean, look at McDonald's in their gum flavored broccoli. Imagine if nobody kept that a secret. Let's see. Gum flavored broccoli. I mean, come on, really? To me, that's nuts. Okay, so explain this one to me. I'm gonna have to look this one up. Finland has ranked as the happiest country in the world for 7 years straight. What makes Finland so happy? Why is Finland a happy place to live? All right. there there is a world happiness report, guys. Oh, you know this? So they have 1,000 lakes. Okay. I'm looking at happy places to live. Or why is Finland a happy place to live? I'm gonna give you a chance to second. They have every man's law, which means you can go to any place in nature and camp. Nice. And also blondes. So, according to the world's happiness report, Finland has been the happiest country in the world for 7 years in a row. Um, Trust is a big thing. Finns trust their neighbors, local politicians, and officials, which can lead to an efficient society with low corruption, which we all know how America is. We have one of the corruptest governments. Well, I say one of the. I don't know how we are compared to some of the terrorist. Well, I guess you can't really call a terrorist group a government. Um, but we do have a very corrupt government. According to the OECD Better Life Index, 96% of Finns believe they have someone they can rely on in a time of need. How many of us can say that? We have someone we can rely on in a time of need. Um, and it's absolutely true. We know we can't trust our government, right? And it doesn't matter who's in the office. There's always something bad going on. It's ridiculous. Now, my question on that, and I don't like talking politics. I do not like talking politics, but because I have my own thoughts and I don't want to offend anybody with them. Um, but my question, and this is just a sincere question, if you if you go to work and you sit around, you do absolutely nothing, right? You bicker, you moan, you complain, you don't get your job done. Um, your boss walks up to you and you're like, yeah, we're gonna have to let you go because you're just not making it right. Um, and we're sad, but you're just not gonna make it. You're gonna have to go. Okay. Why can't we do that with our politicians once they get into the House or the Senate? Why do we not have a say on removing them from that position? Like, we vote on them to get them in those positions, right? So why can't we remove them from those positions? Be like, yeah, you're just not doing your job, Senator. So we're gonna have to remove you. Maybe next time, right? That doesn't make any sense. Why we don't have that ability? Um, the House. We should fire everyone, right? You're fired. You're fired. Pull the Donald Trump deal, right? You're fired. I think that's why they hate him so much because the left hate him so much because he does the "you're fired" so well. I don't know, but that's I don't get that. That doesn't make any sense to me. We have an election to put them in office. Why can we not have some kind of election to remove them from office or put a term limit on them? Because you literally and no one can sit here and disagree with me on this. We literally have people in the Senate and House that don't do shit. I mean, literally, like their biggest issue is what they're gonna who they're gonna complain about, right? That not about what they're gonna pass or what they can agree on. It's about who we're gonna complain about today. So yeah. Anyways, that's my spiel on the politics. I really think um, that that should happen. And I'm talking about House. I'm talking about Republicans and Democrats, not just one party. I'm talking about everybody. I think it should be that way. Um, because that's what the Constitution was built around, was for the people by the people. And I think our government has become so corrupt that it's not by the people anymore. We vote, but once they're in, there's no way to remove them, and that's what's ridiculous to me. And eat the rich since they want us to eat cake, right? We have people in charge of the country that can't walk up a flight of stairs. Oh man, you talk about Sleepy Joe. What amazes me on that note is um, he's not fit to be the Democrats' nominee, but he's fit to continue to run the country. Yeah, yeah. That doesn't make any sense to me. You look, listen, Sleepy Joe. Here we go. Joe, we get it. You're tired. You're old. You should have retired years and years ago. Um, so we get you're not gonna be able to do 4 more years. This is the Democrats talking here. We're gonna relieve you of your duties, even though you were the elected nominee. We're gonna relieve you of your duties, assign someone else. But guess what? We're gonna let you still hold on to the nuclear briefcase, the football. We're gonna let you hold on to that for another, what was it, 6 months, 5 months. So you're not capable of continuing another 4 years, but you can at least hold on to the football for the last remainder months. That doesn't make any sense to me. Um, question: would you book passage on the Titanic too? I would, as long as there was an iceberg viewing area. And to the left, we have the iceberg that sank the first Titanic. Wow, diamonds. Getting dark. We gotta empty our inventory anyways, so You know how they usually name sweets? Could you imagine? The sweets. I know the movie was not completely real, but you'd have like the Jack Sweet, or what was the girl's name? I can't remember. Don't lie. Everybody's seen Titanic. If you were with a woman at one point in time, you have seen Titanic. Um, Jack and Rose. That's right. I couldn't remember Rose. Um, but they named the suites after the movie. You'd have like the penthouse of all penthouse suites would be the Heart of the Ocean. The Hope Diamond. Was it the Hope Diamond? The Heart of the Ocean. I can't remember what that's what it was called. Anyways, you'd have a suite called that. It'd be like the ultimate luxurious suite. Yes. Dang, Jet, why you got to make us feel old? I watched it in the movie theaters, right? I watched it in the movie theaters. Um and it was a very long movie. And you got to think um back in that time period, the we didn't have the recliner, nice, cushy, comfortable movie theater seats that we have nowadays. So you're sitting there like doing this, just kind of leaning over the edge and just because your back was hurting, your ass was hurting. It was horrible. But yeah, I remember that. And then when it see, that just shows I'm older than you, Jet. I don't know. Um, the the but yeah, when it came out on VHS, it was a two tape VHS, and yeah, it was one of the things that was in our household. And it was never a good time when like I went and saw it in the movie theaters, but of course, it was hey, let's have a movie night and watch Titanic, and you're like, oh gosh, 2 hours, and it wasn't a bad movie. I am not gonna say it was a horrible movie. It was not a bad movie. It was just such a long movie, and it was the I guess it's because it was the whole love story thing that just kind of it was like, you know what? I don't see any machine guns in here, and nobody's really dying until the end when the boat sinks. All right, let's put diamonds right there. What do we get? I don't have redstone, so let's put redstone right there. Andesite, andesite. I need another spot for stone. Is that andesite too? No, that's stone. Stone, 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 stone. I remember being super mad that no one was trying to float on any of those tables. Right? I mean, it's like common sense, guys. Let's just. I mean, we put rows on a door. Why can't everybody else do the same? Makes no sense. I think Leonardo was robbed of an Oscar for many years, and I think it started with What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, I agree with you. Yeah, I do have to say Leonardo DiCaprio has done some pretty dang good movies in the past. Wasn't it Shutter Island? Didn't he play in Shutter Island? I thought that was a really good movie. What was some of the others he's played in that I thought he did really good in? Um, he's had a very successful career. Inception. Yeah, Inception was great. I really liked Inception. Wolf of Wall Street. I've watched a part of Wolf of Wall Street. I have not watched the whole thing. Um, which I would like to. I mean, because I think that's quite interesting. The crazy part about Wolf of Wall Street is that's not made up, right? It's definitely not a made up situation. Um, that actually happens in Wall Street, a lot of that. So that's what's crazy. And I'm assuming that's why it was made. I do not have gravel, and this is not going to be good. What's up, Scrubby? Welcome back. We are just talking and of course going over fun facts still. We managed to get into the movie scene with Leonardo DiCaprio, and we're still going over fun facts. Oh, back to our Finland. We got to finish Finland. Um, According to the world's happiness report, Finland has been the happiest country in the world for 7 years in a row, right? So freedom. Finland is a free democratic society with high levels of transparency and respect for the law. Social safety net. Finland spends billions of euros each year on social protection programs, including healthcare, pensions, unemployment, and other services. In 2022, 70% of Finns were satisfied with the country's healthcare system. Now, how many of us can actually say we're happy with the healthcare system in the United States? I personally think it's a joke, but it is what it is. Um, I'm not. I don't believe in the whole Obamacare or whatever, the Medicare for all type situation, but I really think our healthcare needs a revamp badly. Because it is sad when not everybody can afford it. Um, and you can't afford procedures, dire emergency procedures. I think that's an issue. Based off the real Jordan Belfort. Yes, Jet, you probably do have free healthcare for life, which is a plus, especially for someone who's who's provided their service to our country, and provided the things that y'all provided. So absolutely, that is absolutely a must. Um, when you take, and this is just my honest opinion. My dad was in the Navy, retired Navy, and when unfortunately when he passed away, he had his burial, his military burial. Um, and what I think one of the hardest things to me was hearing taps being played. That was probably one of the hardest things for me. Was when they played taps at his funeral. But the to me, our military does not get enough gratitude at all, at all. There's no reason we should have military that are homeless. There's no reason we should have military that are fighting for health care. No reason we should not be taking care of our military. Whether you agree with what has happened in the past and the wars and that kind of stuff, there's no reason we shouldn't be taking care of the people that have sacrificed their life for us. Whether they lost their life or not, they still sacrificed their life because they could have lost their life. And I completely think the country does wrong for their military. Especially with all that is being done. Um, so I'm not one of those people who's like death to America. I'm not that kind of person. I'm the kind of person that's very patriotic, and I think that we just don't do enough for our military. Yeah, absolutely. I'd be willing to Google some. While I'm doing that, while you're telling me what I need to Google, I'm going to go over work-life balance for Finland. Finnish societies values a healthy work-life balance with free time and family time beginning after the workday ends. Municipal daycare is also available by law, allowing both parents to work. So that's another thing. Okay, how Scrubby, I know you don't have kids, but how many of us have kids in here? Um, I don't. Now I'm kind of lucky in the realm because my wife is a head teacher at a daycare. But the cost for daycare is astronomical here in the United States. We are talking. Um, and I can just throw some numbers out from the daycare my wife works at, but some of the children are paying $125 to $200 a week. A week, not monthly, a week. So that's pretty cool that Finland has incorporated a actual program to take care of. Oh my gosh, so much lava, so much lava. What are you doing here? I need you to go. Ah, man, it happened. So it's pretty cool that they actually have a program that allows the parents to work. Oh, thank you, Mono. I appreciate that. Allows the parents to work and carry out, because I mean, let's face it, this day and age, you have to, um, if you're raising children here in the United States, you almost have to have both parents working, unless you just make a very large sum of money to where you can have a stay at home, either dad or mom. Um, you almost have to have that second. I don't want to say almost. You have to have that second income because you're not going to make it without it. At least that's what I've experienced. What in the world is that? Oh, that's the source block right there. I was like, how's that block like that? Let's see here. You should check out the USS Tweety, named after the efforts of my great uncle. Really? I'm okay. I'm gonna have to look that one up. We'll USS. So, did you go into the Navy because of your great uncle? Is that what inspired you, or are you lifelong military family? How do you know? I don't. Oh my gosh. I couldn't afford daycare. The children. Guess that's why I have 7 siblings. I'm gonna be a stay-at-home dad someday. Right? We all inspire to be stay-at-home dads. Um, what is up with all the lava? Can we not lava this place? The children. Mono, I saw you jump on. Um, yeah, daycare is just, it's ridiculous how bad daycare has gotten. And it just, the prices, of course, with inflation, um, the prices of everything's going up. So when you're looking at just for one child, you're looking at $400 a month for daycare. That's bad. That is bad. I mean, it's to the point where daycare is so expensive that we had to come up with a governmental program to help people pay for it, right? Um, because of their income, they couldn't afford it. So we've had to come up with a program where our taxes pay to help people pay for daycare. That's an issue to me. That has to happen. And I get everybody needs to make a living, but you can't tell me, like, the classroom that my wife is in, um, has 10 kids. 10 kids. So do the math. And I get there's expenses to running a daycare, and insurance is probably very high, yada yada yada. There's always expenses in everything you do, but I don't know. It just, that's kind of nuts to me. I'm third generation Navy. My dad and grandpa were both Navy as well. My great grandpa and great uncle were both in World War II. One was Marine Air Corps and one was an Army tanker. Back from ads. So yeah, so yeah, definitely a military. I I, I don't want to say it, but I'm gonna say it anyways. Military brat. Is that what they used to call them? My family was military too. I was going to join the Air Force. but never ended up doing it. And I know Air Force is probably one of the easier military branches out there, but my dream was to fly a jet. I've always wanted to fly. Um, Never had the opportunity, but when I passed my ASVAB test, and was told that I would be able to do that. That was a foreseeable future for me if I wanted to join military. So that was what my goal was, and I never ended up doing it. But my family's military too. My dad Navy. My grandpa was Army. Um, so just keeps going from there. As a matter of fact, I have my grandfather's letter from JFK. His letter his from when he passed away. His letter to the family. I even have the letter from Joe Biden from my dad. So am I? Did I not? Okay, I did. I was like, I could have sworn I emptied my inventory, but I'm not picking everything up. One of my sisters and two of my brothers went to Air. They're smarter than me. Yeah. So for those that don't know, Air Force is the military branch that is closest to civilian life, right? So you join the military, Air Force, or sorry, Army, Marine Corps, Navy, any of those, your boot camp's tough. Um, it's the Air Force is the closest to civilian life that you can get being in the military. Oh wow. Yeah, as a matter of fact, and this is gonna be kind of funny. I had a long talk with a gentleman, and don't get me, I wouldn't be able to repeat what all we talked about, but I actually had a conversation with the gentleman just the other day who was a CB, and he was a gunner too, and man, that guy is full of some stories. But he was I want to say, if I can remember right, he was a World War II CB. Does that sound right? I may be saying that wrong. I don't. He was an older gentleman. Um, but that guy had some stories. Funny as all get out. But yeah, that guy had some stories. So it's kind of interesting that you said that. All right, let's go. All right, so the last thing. Back to the work-life balance for the Finn. Um, the balance of family time and free time after the workday ends. So a lot of us tend to find other jobs here in America compared to the Finnish society, I guess. Um, Whereas like here, I actually work a full-time job. Then I come home. We actually not just we do it more for extra money, but we clean the daycare that my wife works at. It's really just extra money for us. But to some people, second jobs are a nature. They have to have them in order to survive because of the way life is here in the United States. It's expensive. Um, so some people have to have two or three jobs just to survive, and on top of that, and in a realm of dad, um, those dads that are no longer with their significant other, and Chet could probably coincide with this. If you have to pay child support, um, that could easily become a cost for having to have multiple jobs, right? Um, so that's another situation that could easily become a problem and cause someone to have to get multiple jobs. So in the area of the Finland area, the reason why I would take that as a good thing would be because if you had a chance to spend more time with your family, the broken home syndrome would probably be less likely because you weren't spending so much time working. So we're almost down to the nitty gritty, and then we're gonna start on another one. Sense of community. Finns have a strong sense of community, and many enjoy the peace and movement of nature. So I imagine if this is absolutely true, I would imagine that the crime rate is probably not as bad in Finland as it is in the rest of the world. I mean, let's face it. The world in itself is inherently cruel, right? It's evil. Um, but I guess Finland's figured it out to where it's not as bad. That says, fun fact about being a 50 cal gunner: if you open that gun in a firefight, your life expectancy drops to 5 minutes. Holy cow! Is that just because you become a target instantly for someone to take that gun out? I'm assuming that's what that means. I don't know if that's really a fun fact, Jet. The biggest target, yeah. Yeah, I mean you're talking about 50 cal bullets. Those are and more than likely they're high penetration bullets meant to penetrate armor for planes and things like that, whatever it may be. So yeah, I could see that. I like how you threw fun fact in the middle of that though. Hey, fun fact. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, my father-in-law has a 50 cal. I haven't actually got to shoot it. He's shot it, but I've never gotten to shoot a 50 cal. I would love to shoot a 50 cal. I think it would be fun. But yeah, I I'm sure you have, especially if you were a gunner. Um, I wouldn't doubt that at all. I can only imagine the recoil on one of those things. That'd be insane. I'm sure the recoil is pretty rough on a 50 cal. Where is my? Oh, there's my iron. I guess I don't have a box for lapis yet. Why do I have gold and? Now let's do this. Go lapis. That's gravel. Go gold right here. Did we get everything down there? Oh, we got a little tiny bit left. We're gonna put. We got a little bit left. They don't kick. I can take that gun apart and put it back together blindfolded. That's a big gun to take apart. Oh, okay. I would imagine, and you could explain this more than I could, but I would imagine just because it's such a big gun doesn't mean it has a lot more parts. The parts are just bigger, right? That would be my guess in that situation. Okay, let's see here. Holy cow. That is a story and a half. So Jet Jet's history for his what'd you say was your great uncle? I think is what you told me. Your great uncle. Anyways, was in World War II. For those that don't know, I'm just gonna kind of go over this. I don't know how many of you are history buffs. I like history stuff, so and it's always really cool. Yep, great uncle. Okay, so Albert William Tweedy Jr. and this is gonna be probably all the same to Jet here because he's probably read the stories over and over again. That would be something I would be extremely proud of, which I'm sure you are. Otherwise, you wouldn't be following in the footsteps of your family the way you did. Um, but he was assigned to the 2nd Marine Aircraft Wing, Fleet Marine Force. He was stationed at San Diego and Hawaii before reporting for duty with Marine Scouter Bomber Squadron at Midway early in. I just realized I'm chopping my head off. Hang on. Let me lift my camera up a little bit. Did it lift up? There we go. Okay. Um, where was I? At Midway early in 1942. He served as assistant flight officer and assistant communications officer for the squadron before becoming its communication officer late in May. Early on the morning of June 4th, 1942, Lieutenant Tweedy took off from Midway in his Dauntless Navy dive bomber. Minutes later, the Battle of Midway commenced as planes from the Japanese carriers pounded the Marine installations on Midway, and outdated American fighter planes based based at Midway were bloodily dispatched by the newer and nimbler Japanese Zeros the opening stages of the battle. So the Japanese planes were technologically more advanced compared to the planes that we were using at the time. On that morning, Lieutenant Twitty flew with Major Lofton Henderson's division of VMSB 241. Although stripped of its fighter protection, this division nonetheless attempted a glide bombing attack on Japanese carrier Haru. Despite a fearsome anti-aircraft barrage and repeated attacks by the numerically superior enemy fighter planes, Lieutenant Tweedy dove his aircraft to a perilously low altitude before releasing a bomb over the enemy carrier. Japanese fighters then attacked and splashed the slow-moving bomber, killing Lieutenant Tweedy. He was posthumously awarded the Navy Cross for his extraordinary heroism, cool courage, and conscientious devotion to duty. So, uh, that's what you call an American hero right there. That is yeah. I mean, he dropped a bomb on a Japanese carrier during World War II. Uh, even though, and I'm sure he knew that what he was doing was probably going to be a no return situation. But the patriotism in him took over, and he said, "I need to do what I need to do for my country." So amazing story. Thank you for sharing that, Jed. I certainly appreciate that. That is awesome. There's a lot more. There's a lot more to that. For those that are interested, look up Albert William Tweedy Jr. and you will find all kinds of information on him. Um, Very interesting story and definitely something to be proud of for sure. But that's what's so amazing about that, and those that don't know, the reason why I read that story for those that are still with me, the USS Tweedy was named after him. So that's a piece of history. It's decommissioned. Is it stationed somewhere? Let's see here. Does it tell me whether it's stationed somewhere? Because I mean, like you have the USS Alabama. Um, the USS Alabama is in Alabama. Um, Oh, okay, it was sank as a target for weapon testing. Oh, it was a naval reserve training ship in 1958. Trying to see. Yeah, yeah, they're towards the end. It talks about it. On August 1st, 1962, the destroyer escort was again decommissioned and returned to reserve training ship status. Operating out of Florida ports, she continued in that capacity until late in May 1969 when she departed St. Petersburg for the last time. On May 29th, she arrived at Orange, Texas for inactivation, and in June, her name was struck from the Navy list. In other words, the ship was no longer going to be used ever again. In March 1970, she was assigned to Naval Air Atlantic for destruction as a target. So, not only was it used for quite a few things, and I'm not going to go through the whole story of the USS Tweedy, but uh, it was also used to advance the technology for the Navy. Basically, they tested new technology on it to as a target. So that's pretty cool. Oh, I need to sleep. It's nighttime. Nighttime, nighttime. Um, yeah, I mean, but even then, even though, once again, it's like you said, it's a piece of history with your family's name on it, and that is something to be extremely proud of. Whether the ship did a whole lot or not, it was the fact that it housed. I mean, I'm sure it housed hundreds of Navy men, and was a. I mean, obviously it was, and it it may have not been the battleship that went out there and destroyed a bunch of things, but in its own right, it served its purpose where it was needed. You know what I mean? So it did what it did what it needed. So my dad was a gunner on the USS. Oh man, Regal, which was a supply ship. It was literally a supply ship. It supplied a lot of the carriers and other boats around the areas when they ran low on supplies. But doesn't make it any less different because it was a gunner ship. You know, it still had to protect itself in some way. So even though it wasn't the superior carrier that carried out tons of missions or the nuclear submarine, it still did its job, and that's the thing that's important about it. Also, super fun fact: my birthday is October 13th, same day as the U.S. Navy. That is wild. That is wild. All right, that's cool. So I don't. For those that are still here with me, Jet's here with me. That was very interesting. Make sure you go check that out. That's some interesting stuff. If you like history, which I watch a ton of documentaries, especially on World War II. Um, I've watched a ton of them. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I love um all there's a lot of for those that want to look stuff up. There's a lot of World War II stuff on Netflix and some of the other streaming places. Just it's interesting to learn about your history because one of the first things that my history teacher in college, well, I'm sure we've all heard it sooner than that. I just don't remember it. I didn't remember it till my college teacher told me. But he said if you look back based upon history, um, you'll find that history repeats itself. And whether it's in the same realm of the exact same thing happening or something similar, history repeats itself. So, for instance, here we are about to delve into World War III. Hopefully, cross our fingers we don't. But you have some of the evil powers again grouping together, trying to uh, trying to cause issues. Right? Um, Same thing was happening in World War II. You had the evil powers grouping up against the West. So that's something to think about. I've had that picture of the Tweety turned into a poster, by the way, that hangs in my house, in my dad's house. Yeah, absolutely. You should definitely. I mean, that's amazing. I would be super proud of that. So one of the favorite things that we did this past summer, I took the kids to Alabama. That's where my wife's family lives. And one of the fun, I love history in general, so I took my kids to see the USS Alabama, and they absolutely loved it. It's always nice to see just the enthusiasm in your kids' face. First of all, they're just excited to see something so massive, something they've never seen before. And it amazes them that something that big can float on water. You sit there and explain to them, this is made out of steel. This is a very huge ship. And they're like, "How does it stay on the water?" So that's their that was their first question. How does that even stay up? So, but then to get them to see the guns on it and all that stuff, they were just amazed by it. And that's what's amazing about it, because that's to see the spark in their eyes on what's happened in our past. Seeing the Japanese flag on the USS Alabama and just the history behind it is wild. Remember my first time seeing a Navy ship up close? Yeah, it's crazy. You don't when you when you think about a ship, most people are used to seeing like boats in the water, ski boats, things like that. Even some yachts. They're like, "Oh man, that's big." You do not realize the actual size of a ship until you see a battleship or a transport ship or something that was made to really move stuff. And it's wild how massive they can be. Out there where the USS Alabama is, they also have a submarine, which is it's wild. It's massive on the outside, but when you get in there, it's very claustrophobic, very tight spaces. I mean, in some areas, the space was so tight, like you would have to step off to the side for people to get through because it was a one person walkway, or you were just gonna get very close to your neighbor type situation. My dad worked on the P3 Orions on a flight deck. I can't remember the name though, but it's a city. There's 3,000 people on there living and working on there. Yeah, yeah, I can believe that. All right, another fun fact. That was a really good fun fact. Um, your brain alone burns around 400 to 500 calories each day. I think we've probably burned a lot more than that today. I would imagine that all depends on the synapses of your brain and how much you're using it. That would be my guess on that one. The more you use it, the more it burns. That would be my guess. We're gonna cook some smooth stone up here. I need some smooth stone. We need to make the slabs for that. We're out of the slabs. I gotta fill that in. Then we're gonna start working on that chunk right there. The first animals to travel to outer space were fruit flies. That's interesting. I don't know if I should continue to risk that pick for I should move. Another fun fact about naval service: my dad and I were both in the Hall of Fame boot camp divisions, meaning our class got every award possible and won the recruit Olympics. That's freaking awesome. Talk about setting some target goals and achieving them. That's crazy. That's cool. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not a bad thing to not like. You know what I mean? Military. You grew up in the military. Um, and the service and gratitude is, I mean, it's needed, it's wanted, and that's what the sad part to me. And I don't know if you've heard this yet. Was the thought process that we have nowadays, like our recruits. I'm trying to think how to word this. Um, we have less recruits into the military nowadays than what we did back then, which means two things. Um, well, there's two possible things behind that. One, um, we don't have as much patriotism anymore. Um, the youth is being raised to hate their country, which we see that we hear about it all the time, right? I mean, heck, you got people who are ecstatic about a terrorist group over in Israel right now or in Gaza. Um, why? Like, if that terrorist group was here in the United States, that terrorist group would be done. It'd be toast. It'd be over. If they did what they did to Israel here in the United States, uh, look at Al Qaeda. I mean, how quickly did we deal with that situation? Um, but you know, once again, not patriotism is not something that's being taught anymore. Be proud of your country, love what you do, love where you are, understand that the freedom you have is not to be taken for granted and was given to you by the many people who fought for you. So that's one thing. Um, the second thing is, and I think this is true in some aspects, is we're just not seeing a whole lot of um, pushing for the military, excitement for the military. Your families are more broken up now, um, and then the realm of once again taking care of the vets. You know, why would I join the military when my country doesn't take care of me? Right? Why am I going to put my life on the risk when my country isn't going to take care of me? Um, when you have youth that is being raised in the realm of I deserve everything, everything should be given to me type situation, you're going to also have that same mindset of if I'm going to put my life on the line, then the United States should take care of me and provide everything for me. And in the right mind, yes, I completely agree. Does our country do that currently for our vets? No, they do not. And that's where you're going to see the decline in recruits for the military. Um, I just oh, we got an ad break. Hang on. Oh no, it's over. So retention rates were down even when I was getting out, but things went really bad with COVID. Yeah, so you never considered joining the Navy? And I bet you're glad you did now. Now that it's done, I bet you're like, I wouldn't change it, right? Um, but I think that's the biggest issue nowadays is we're having that problem because and COVID did have a huge deal with that. But because I think another big part of that was just the way things got treated with COVID. In my eyes, I think we treated the I don't think anybody should have been forced to get the shots, that kind of stuff. But our military definitely was. We had people leaving the military because they did not want to take the shots. Which turned out it didn't matter anyways, right? You still were going to get COVID even if you got the shots. But we were originally told um, that as long as you got the shots, you were protected, and that wasn't the case. So, but then again, that's where it and lies again that our country lies to us. Our country's corrupt in that situation. I think our country could do a whole lot better. I really do. Um, and that doesn't mean I'm gonna, once again, I don't want people to go, oh, Nieblue hates his country. No, I love my country very much, and I'm happy with where we are, kinda, as far as the country is concerned. I think, um, I think our government, I think our government is trying to pull it apart. I really do. That's my biggest thing. I think our government's trying to destroy it, and uh, they're doing a good job. I will say that they are doing a really dang good job of destroying it. So yeah, yeah, I think I will say this. I think most of the time when you grow up in a military family, that tends to happen. Now, and I could be wrong in that situation, but I do know that if my dad probably talked more about his military experience, my dad was very closed about his military experience. If he talked about it more, it probably would have been the same for me. Um, I probably would have joined, but my dad didn't talk a whole lot about it. Um, and so that just kind of went wayside for me. I wanted to join, but it wasn't something that I really pushed for because I wasn't raised in that. You know what I mean? It wasn't instilled in me that doing something for your country was our duty as a family type situation, right? Um, and I think that's a part that you play as a parent, to your children, is instilling that patriotism or whatever it may be, that you're proud of in them. So that's, you have the people who are rebellious against the government and things like that. They're normally like that either because they feel strongly about something or they were taught that. If you want change, you gotta create change on your own type situation, right? So, um, it's all about. I mean, it really is all about how you're raised. That helps a lot of that. I don't want to say it's your ultimate decision. We have free will, obviously. We make our own decisions as we get older, but your parents play a huge part in your decisions as a young individual. Unless you're just rebellious. I know a few friends who joined the military just because they were rebellious against their parents. So dirt everywhere, dirt in my hair. Okay, next fun fact. Ooh, that's not okay. Here's another one. Here's another one for you, Jet. I was about to say Japanese. Japan released sushi-inspired Kit Kats. Sushi-inspired Kit Kats. So, are these like flavored Kit Kats? Fishy chocolate. I've got to look this one up too. So, sushi flavored Kit Kats. We got it. Sushi inspired Kit Kats. It wasn't sushi flavored. It was sushi inspired. Let's fix that. No joke. There is a wasabi Kit Kat. It's a limited edition. You can buy it on Japan Hall for $18. That is wild. There, okay. So for $70, you can get the Kit Kat classic Japanese flavors, right? So you have a sweet potato Kit Kat, what looks like an orange chocolate Kit Kat. That one I don't know. A coffee, oh no, tea, milk tea Kit Kat, a strawberry flavored Kit Kat, some kind of green thing Kit Kat. That helps. A wafer type looking Kit Kat. It looks like some type of cookie. That looks like a mint chocolate, maybe a chocolate cake. But that didn't help me out. We were looking up sushi inspired. Let's see what this is. So, sushi purists in Japan may have a problem with new novelty candy from Nestle. Kit Kat, the chocolate-coated wafer bar with a distinct crunch, will soon be available in the form of sushi for Kotoku. 3 varieties are being produced. You've got tuna, tamago, which is egg, and uni. Probably. Yeah, oh, I love wasabi. A sea urchin flavored candy bar sounds like a potentially hard thing to pull off. Perhaps knowing this, so it is flavored. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Tuna flavored Kit Kat. How? I don't know. I think my taste buds would be like, what the hell? I mean, don't get me wrong. I like it. I like the idea of it, but it's my palate would probably be like, hey, this is supposed to be candy, not sushi. I gotta go sleep. So, a sea urchin flavored candy bar sounds like a potential hard thing to pull off. Perhaps knowing this, the Kit Kat people decided to make these inspired by these sushi staples. Instead of sushi rice, they served on crispy puffed rice. Um, and instead of fish and eggs, okay, so they did not. Okay, that makes more sense. It is not flavored like that. Instead of fish and egg flavors, they taste like raspberry and white chocolate. For tuna, so that's the tuna one is raspberry and white chocolate, pumpkin pudding, which is the tamago, and Hokkaido melon and mascarpone cheese, which is uni. Although a bit of authenticity comes in the seaweed that wraps the candy bars, so it's actually wrapped in real seaweed. The sweet sushi will be served at a Kit Kat specialty shop that is opening in Tokyo's Ginza district this Thursday. So that was back in 2017. So when you make your appearance in Japan, Jet, you're going to have to take a visit to the Tokyo's Ginza district, and see if you can't find some of them Kit Kats. That's kind of crazy. I'm stretching my back. Yeah, I would definitely try them too. They're not flavored. I mean, they are candy flavored. That would have been interesting to see them actually flavored. I just saw Art get on. Let me say hey to him. To have them flavored as like fish. Could you imagine a tuna flavored Kit Kat? I think my palate would just be like, what in the world? What are you thinking? I can somewhat cook. I'm not the best cook. I do like food. I will admit to that. I like eating, but then again, who doesn't? Someone, I wonder if there's a fear of eating. Could you imagine that? I gotta look that up. There is an eating disorder. Um, my favorite thing to cook. Well, I am not a cook by any means. So I don't have a favorite thing to really cook because I'm not a good cook. So I mean, I can do barbecue. I do like to do brisket on the pit. That is usually good. I do get compliments for that because it's usually really uh, tender and moist, um, and it's not dried out. So I guess you could say that. I do like a mean brisket, but I'm not. Other than that, you might see me make a box meal. What is your thing? Trying to get rid of. There's so much dirt. Get rid of all this dirt. I mean, it's like a huge portion of this one. Okay, so while we're waiting on Ruladin, is that how you say it? Ruladin. What kind of meal is that? Is that like Italian? Okay, so there is a phobia. Oh, it's German meal. Okay. Um, there is a phobia for eating. The phobia is called emetophobia. Emetophobia, and it's an eating disorder. Cause extreme degree of anxiety about food preparation, and food consumption. So how would you go about life not being able to eat? I guess they'd probably have to have tubes in them or something. Although the driving force behind the two disorders may differ, there's obviously we know about the eating disorders, right? Um, bulimia and anorexia, I think is what is it? Is that what it is? Yeah, anorexia and bulimia. Um, emetophobia uh, says here, although the driving forces behind the two disorders may differ, if a person with emetophobia also limits their food intake, both can result in harmful effects on the body. This might include malnutrition, weight loss, difficulty concentrating, and other consequences such as cardiovascular complications. So, emetophobia is classified as an anxiety disorder. While most people would say that they don't enjoy being sick and avoid it if possible, those with emetophobia are trapped in a state of terrifying panic and avoidance which can severely limit their quality of life. For example, a person with emetophobia might avoid going out in public or visiting friends or family for fear of seeing someone vomit or vomiting in front of others. That's interesting. I would have never thought the vomiting situation would be a part of that. That was like the furthest from my mind when it came to a fear of eating. Because you don't think about. I mean, who would think about vomit being a fear for someone who has a disorder for eating? Um, in a bid to avoid the consequential anxiety of potential embarrassment, they often isolate themselves, which can make this a very lonely disorder to live with. That's pretty sad. This makes you want to give them a hug, right? So symptoms may include restriction of food and fear of feeling sick or throwing up, avoiding hospitals or medical offices in fear of catching an illness that will cause them to throw up. So why doesn't it just say a fear of throwing up? That doesn't make any sense. Like everything I've read so far is a fear of throwing up or watching people throw up or something like that. So why isn't it just a fear of throwing up? Wouldn't that make more sense? Where's my redstone box? It must be down here somewhere. Did I never make a redstone box? I guess I didn't. That's gravel. That's granite. That was coal. Are any of these empty at all? There we go. Oh, here's my. Of course, the minute I move my redstone, I find the redstone box. It's right here. Okay. Avoiding certain foods that cause nausea. Avoiding things that smell a certain way. Being repulsed by any words associated with being sick or vomiting. Only eating foods at home or safe locations. Obsessing over the location of restrooms or trash cans. In case one does get sick. So they actually obsess and make sure that they're in places where they have access to restrooms or trash cans in case they throw up. Interesting. It's thin steaks wrapped covered. So we're talking about Rouladen, the German meal. It's thin steaks wrapped covered in spicy brown mustard on one side, wrapped around a pickle spear, and then served with gravy on top. That actually sounds good. I love brown mustard, spicy brown mustard. Um, one of my go-to snacks is actually summer sausage and cheese, sliced cheese, Colby Jack cheese, and spicy brown mustard. That's one of my go-tos for snacks, especially during any kind of football season, things like that, where I just want to sit and have a snack and watch the game or something like that. Protein shakes. I'm not a big protein shake drinker. I did like the muscle milks, but I'm not a big protein shake drinker. Did you know rabies makes you afraid to drink water? That's interesting. I wonder why it makes you afraid to drink water. Yeah, I guess so. It was actually a situation that was makes you afraid of water to kill you. Dehydration, right? So, President Theodore Roosevelt had a pet hyena. That's interesting. The unicorn. We all know what the unicorn is, right? The unicorn with the little horn on top. The unicorn is the national animal of Scotland. Yeah, look at you, Jet. That is wild. Like it's a mystical creature, right? So how is it that how? Why would you do that? So is that like does that date back into the like medieval days? type situation? Like they worship the unicorn or something? Okay. I'm trying to figure out why the unicorn is the national animal for Scotland. Why is it the unicorn? Because it's a mystical creature, right? That's got to be a neat um, history too. The history of your family come from Scotland. Okay, let's find another one. I find that one hard to believe. There's a planet made almost entirely of diamonds. I gotta look this up. According to astronomers, the planet 55 Cancri E, also known as Janssen, is likely made of diamond and other carbon compounds. It's located in the constellation Cancer, about 40 light years from Earth, and orbits a binary star called 55 Cancri. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Um, Cancri E is a super Earth with a radius twice as wide as Earth's and a mass 8 times greater. It's also tidally locked with its star, meaning it has no days. The planet's surface temperature reaches 3,900 degrees Fahrenheit, and it has a substantial atmosphere made of carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. So unlivable. I was gonna say that's where all the women would probably live if they could because it was made of diamonds, but it is unlivable, obviously. For those that don't know, don't do Fahrenheit, that's 2100 degrees Celsius. Scientists believe 55 Cancri is made up of carbon in the form of diamond and graphite, as well as iron, silicon, carbide, and possible silicates. Some theorize that the planet's value could be around 26.9 nonulin. Nonulin? Is that a number? Nonulin? What is nonulin? Nonulin is a number equal to 1 followed by 30 zeros. That is a very expensive planet. I'll whip out my wallet right now and I'll pay you 26.9 nonulin dollars for a planet. So when we actually like get good at harvesting other planets, someone's going to become filthy rich off that one. Has anyone ever played the game Eve before? That's what that kind of reminds me of, like harvesting planets, harvesting gases, harvesting ores. Oh, nice on the history. That is wild. Yeah, that's a good one for my book. Yeah, I think so. Definitely think so. I would have never guessed there was a planet mainly made up of diamonds. I mean, it's got other ores on it too, but who cares about that? When not nomulin, no nonulin, non-alien. I guess is what it is, non-alien. I'm probably saying it wrong. So here I'm gonna type it in, non-alien. The uh, the name of the planet is known as Jansen, which is interesting. But that's wild that you would have a planet made up of that many diamonds to the point that it's that expensive. All right, so I'm just kind of skimming through some of this stuff. Your nose and ears never stop growing. So what you're telling me is I'm gonna look like Pinocchio one day. I'm gonna be the Dumbo Pinocchio mix. That's wild. I imagine because you shed skin, it does, even though it doesn't look like it's growing, or maybe it grows at a slower rate, right? Maybe. I don't know. I wonder if we can look that up. What is the value of Earth? 5 quadrillion. In 2020, astrophysicist Dr. Greg Laughlin, I'm assuming that's how you say it, calculated Earth's value at $5 quadrillion, considering factors like its mass, temperature, age, and potential for life. The fact that people sit around and do this. Okay, I'll wait till you come back from the ads. We got 54 seconds left. I do 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 do. Phenomenal. Do 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 do. Phenomenal. Do 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 do. All right, welcome back. You missed everything. We discussed the theory of life, and I gave the answer out to the secret of life. Sorry, no, I'm just kidding. So according to, I don't know if you heard it, 2020 astrophysicist Dr. Greg Laughlin calculated the Earth's value at $5 quadrillion. That's 15 zeros. 15 zeros versus 30 zeros for that planet that was made of diamonds, right? We're not worth as much. You are not worthy. I gotta sleep. Sleep, sleep, sleep. I think it's 47. I think. Don't quote me on that. Okay, so let's go to the next thing. Well, that's interesting, So Earth's rotation is changing speed. It's actually slowing. This means that on average, the length of a day increases by around 1.8 seconds per century. 600 million years ago, a day lasted for 21 hours. That's another interesting fact. Your brain is constantly eating itself. This process is called phagocytosis. Phagocytosis, where cells envelope and consume smaller cells or molecules to remove them from the system. Don't worry, it isn't harmful, but it actually helps preserve your gray matter. So your brain eats itself. Maybe that's where the concept of while I was up there, I should just empty my the idea of zombies came from. Our brain already eats itself, so if we were to turn, eventually we would. Oh, that is not stone. That is andesite. Um, we would eventually eat other people's brains, right? That's stone. Now let me go back to the andesite. Okay, there's that. There's that. There's that. And this was all the way down here, right? And then granite. I know I saw the granite somewhere. Somewhere. Coffee. Over here. I completely lost my granite box. There's the diorite. There it is. Oops. And then, of course, I have the dirt on me, and I gotta find it again. I think it was back that way. Eee. There it is. Okay. So the largest piece of fossilized dinosaur poo discovered is over 30 centimeters long and over 2 liters in volume. Believed to be a Tyrannosaurus rex turd, the fossilized dung, also named a coprolite, is helping scientists better understand what the dinosaur ate. Well, it was a carnivore, so probably meat. Thought that was already figured out. Doesn't make any sense. Okay. Sorry, I was reading for a second there. Get into these fun fact situations, and you're just like trying to find something good. Random block just sitting there. This one's funny. You can actually die laughing, and a number of people have, typically due to intense laughter causing a heart attack or suffocation. Comedy shows should come with a warning. Going into a comedy show, have to sign a waiver. Sir, I'm going to need you to sign this. What is it? It is a waiver of death. What? You may become so hysterical that you might die. Might laugh yourself to death. You think you're that funny? All right. We are just about at the three hour mark. Jet, you still with me? We're gonna wrap things up. I think I've got some things I got to do today. I am gonna try to do a little stream tonight. I don't know how long that one will be. It'll probably be a small one. I got to finish obviously this up because there's still a lot more to do. Um, I my goal is, this is not my farm. This is Ark's farm. But my goal is to delete a chunk a day, right? So at least a chunk a day. You can see the border outlined. All this has to go away. All this has to go away. So um, I'm using this as an excuse to have to stream, right? It's a good reason. Who in the world dug a chunk out in the middle of nothing? Um, but yeah, this is a task and a half that we are going to continue, and we're going to use that as an excuse to stream. We're obviously going to have a lot of other things to do as well, but this is part of it. We're going to delete a chunk a day. So I've got to finish this chunk. I finished my chunk from yesterday that I completely failed at. If you have not seen my streams, make sure you go over to YouTube. I'll drop a link here in the chat real quick. Make sure you go over to my YouTube. Leave me a follow. Of course, it's not going to look that way. Leave me a follow. Watch some of my videos. Oh, I think it's just. Let me make sure. See if it does it. Nope, that doesn't do it. I don't go to my own page, guys. So. Shh. Don't yell at me. That guy was yelling at me. Go figure. I'm a subscriber of my own channel. Okay. The link's very long, but jump over into YouTube. Leave me a follow. Watch out some of my streams. I've just been uploading them. If you've missed a few of them, some of them not much happens in them. Others I mean, yeah, they can be pretty busy. But definitely jump over, leave me a follow. Make sure you check out my streams if you've missed the ones in the past. I do upload. I am uploading my streams onto there now. That way you can catch up on what's happening on Diggler's Place. Um, if you do not get the chance to actually watch my stream. Do not hesitate to leave me any questions, comments, things I need to change, that kind of stuff. Make sure you're following me on Twitch. That way you know when I go live type situation. Jet, it was fun talking to you. Thank you for the history. I certainly appreciate that. I hope everybody has a wonderful day today. Keep your head up, Jet. I know things are moving your way, and I hope that you achieve what you want to achieve. So, all right, everybody. This is Nieblue. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I will catch you later tonight.
Calling you over, my head on your shoulder. Familiar faces, prolong the embraces. We were all